interestingly enough, Zach was saying that because we're surrounded by Australian accents in this movie, and he actually said to you that he wanted you to be more Australian, right, with your accent. Is that true?
Yeah, well, I did. I tried to do a sort of mild Australian accent. In fact, actually, I did a pass at it where it was a lot of a thicker Australian accent, and I think people felt that it didn't need to be quite so broad. You know, it could just be a nice sort of subtle blend of Australian in there. Yeah.
Yeah, so was that unusual sort of coming into a job like this and going, okay, we want you to do an Australian voice?
That's pretty normal for me, to be honest. I mean, I've been thrown a million different accents. I mean, it's very rare that I get to do a character in my own accent. And the one time I did it, I consider it to be my worst performance. So I like putting on different voices. And, you know, I've done, you know, American accents and Polish accents and Irish accents.
But Aussie's a tough one to actually get right.
Yeah,
what did you do? Did you listen to things, or how did you get it?
I did, yeah. When I listened to a lot of Australian accents, and I grew up, you know, if I'm totally honest, and it is the honest answer, I did grow up watching things like Neighbours and A Home and Away. So I mean, you know, I knew what it sounded like, you know, from being young and watching those programs. And actually, just before I knew I was doing this film, and I was working with an Australian director called
Peter Weir.
Peter Weir.
Yes, I know.
So I kept a half an ear out on his accent all the time.
Yeah, that looks like quite a diffdifferent film to this, isn't it? The
yeah.
Peter Weir one,
yeah.
Very different. Yeah. So was this voice work? Was any of it done in Australia, or you actually you just got to stay home and do this?
Yeah, none of mine. I did some in London, some in LA, and some in Montreal. I was shooting a film in Montreal at the time, so we sort of did it over the space of about a year. So yeah, I was kind of all over the place, but I never went to Australia. Zach was often in Australia, and I was in England, so he would just be waking up, eating some exotic breakfast sandwich, and I would be in a sort of dark studio in London with a cup of tea and a digestive biscuit, you know, and that was our mirrored worlds going on.
Yeah, it would have been nice if at least they gave you a trip to Sydney and wander around the harbour.
Yeah, of course.
I know. So this was a pretty solitary thing. You didn't really have, the interaction really was just in the booth. Did you know what the character was going to look like? I mean, what was the preparation?
I did, yeah. I mean, I was armed with sort of animation tests and, you know, the stills that they'd drawn and the artwork of it all and what my character looked like. So I was very well sort of prepared, and Zach was just brilliant, you know, talking to me about the character and the story, and, you know, and the script was, you know, all there and so descriptive from itself that, you know, I was well kind of prepared and ready to go.
And what did you, just finishing up, when you saw the final product, because I mean, obviously when you're doing this work, you don't see the final product, you've obviously seen the
Well, that was the best part of it. I mean, I was able to see it in so many stages. I mean, I saw it when it was, you know, pencil sketches, you know, scenes drawn out with just a pencil. And so to know that and to see it all develop. And then I saw it for the first time only at the premiere the other day. And it just completely bowled me over. I mean, I just didn't know that that was possible, to make such beautiful animation and so rich and so detailed. And you see every ruffle of every feather and every blink of every owl. And it was just so beautiful. And I was so proud and so pleased that I was able to be a part of it all.